what we currently believe, is based on our past. The results we see in the world are the manifestations and the projections of our past thinking. So, if you keep believing the same thoughts that you've already been thinking, you'll keep producing the same results. This is how we end up where we are. This is how we end up stuck in our lives, in unhelpful habit loops. This is how we get ourselves in a situation where we're not living our best life. You see, because our brain has a confirmation bias, it always goes looking for evidence in the world to support what it is we are believing. We then find the evidence that we're looking for and decide to believe it as the truth. But I want you to notice that it's not necessarily the truth, it's just a decision. It feels right because it feels familiar. We've thought it enough times to know it. It's interesting to note that often we don't go for looking for evidence that we're wrong. You ever noticed that? Our brain doesn't like to confront that possibility. So it always goes looking for results of how we're right, how we're the center of the universe, how everything revolves around us. And it is the way we think it is. But sometimes those thoughts are the ones that hold us back. They're the thoughts that keep us from achieving our dreams, that keep us stuck in our existing world. And so when we want to create a new future, one that we've never had before, it might be a new relationship or a new advancement in your career. It might be living the life with the time and the freedom and the energy that you've always wanted to have. If you're working on health and weight loss, it might be achieving and maintaining a goal for, and a healthy lifestyle forever. If this is something that you've never had, then you actually have to believe new thoughts. Because the result we want is in our future, we won't have the evidence for it. It doesn't exist yet. We haven't created it. This is where we sometimes get into trouble. We're like, oh my God, there's no evidence, therefore it can't be true. And this is what I want to encourage you to change today. We actually have to decide to believe that new thought on purpose, without evidence. This, too, is a decision. It's one that you can make. And the good news is there are no rules about what you can believe. You get to believe and decide whatever you want to. I'm so grateful to my coach, that's Brooke Castillo. You can check out her work at thelifecoachschool.com. thelifecoachschool.com. She introduced me to this idea that you really can choose to believe any thought. You can decide that that is true for you in your life. Now, I realized that for me, in my own weight loss journey and in my own success, that I actually did that along the way. I just decided that I was doing this no matter what. I was succeeding no matter what came up, and it was determined. And it wasn't just that determination as I'm hoping I will do it. I had just decided, I am changing this. I am living my healthiest life. I'm going to get to my goal weight and I'm going to keep it. And of course, it's been over 10 years now. It's like coming up to 12 years that I have maintained. Oh wait, now don't worry about it. Don't stress about it, because I've decided that I take care of me no matter what. I am worth looking after. I'm worth putting in the effort for, to make healthy choices, to plan ahead, to get organized, to listen to my body, to stop when I'm satisfied, and to never sabotage myself with food. And also, by the way, to never go without. Because I plan in and I work in the things that I want to have in a healthy balance. You too can believe that your future success is possible and in fact is inevitable, if you wish. You can choose to be a person who takes those steps, who does the actions that are required. doesn't give in to self-doubt. We don't have to judge ourselves anymore. And if you notice them, you just got to remind yourself that you aren't going to do that anymore. So if that sounds appealing to you, let me talk through how do you actually go about believing new thoughts. Well, to start with, I'd encourage you to imagine the future result that you want to create and create a sentence in your mind, all thoughts are just sentences, as though it were true. So take the belief that you want to have, the result that you want to have, and just go, I'm just going to assume that that is true for me right now. And what's wonderful about this is the neurons in our brain does not understand really the difference between imagination and reality. The neurons fire the same way. It actually doesn't know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. That means that we can train it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to train in this new thought as though it were real. And as soon as we start believing it, our brain will start going looking for evidence. We'll start seeing it and accepting it's true. So it's the same process that we've already done. We're just doing it on purpose now instead of on automatic. Now, sometimes when I say this to people, I have people say, but I can't go from I can't or I'll never or it's too hard to of course I will. It's easy. Why not? If the gap feels too big, it feels unbelievable, it's like a chasm in between where you are and where you want to be, then okay, I have great compassion for you and have compassion for yourself. It just means you've believed really hard. You've tried really hard to keep the thought you've already got. So if it feels too far, you don't have to go all the way at once. You can build a bridge over that chasm by choosing what we call bridging thoughts. You can actually just wiggle the thought a little bit on the way. So this is sometimes known as the ladder of thought or creating a bridging thoughts, where we just go step by step. So for instance, if you want to go from I can't change to something like I can change anything in my life, maybe that will feel too hard for you, too much at the moment. Notice that those are just thoughts. But to help you out, you could go, I can't change. I'll always be this way. To, well, some people can change. Change is possible in the world. When have I changed before? Bet you'll find examples. I have changed before, so change is possible for me. I can change, therefore. I can create change. I can do that right now. I can change anything. Do you notice how little by little, each little thought steps you closer to the new thought you want? I can change anything in my life just because I want to. It's so exciting to know that, right? But notice those little thoughts. And if you need to do that, I would encourage you to write down a series of thoughts that goes, well, can I challenge that thought? Can I ask for when it's not true? Can I just make a little adjustment to it that feels a bit more believable? And then if you write down that list of thoughts, then go through and read them and just notice when your resistance comes up. When it does, challenge that thought. If it feels hard, sometimes just allowing in the possibility can be enough to start to break that old thought's grip in your mind. So what if it's possible that I could change? What if I really could change anything? What if I really could achieve any result that I wanted in my life? And just notice by asking the what if I could, starts to just bring a little wedge. It starts to open the possibility in your mind. So that's step one. Imagine the new sentence that you would be believing if it was true, if you'd already achieved the results in your life. And then number two, you actually have to accept this as true. You have to believe the new sentence so that you can feel it. So when you're creating that sentence, try and choose language that really invokes the emotions that you want to have. You know, what invokes certainty assuredness, confidence. And if you need to, think of it as a little bit like going into a rehearsal for a play. Maybe you're auditioning for a role, right? You're trying on some lines and getting into character. It's what actors do all the time. You're becoming a person who believes those lines, those sentences, to be true. So the beautiful thing is you can just try it on for size. You can practice it in this way. You can try as a little science experiment. Let me just try out thinking this new thought on purpose for a while. See how it feels. Remember, you don't have to keep it if it doesn't end up working for you. You can always go back to your old thinking, or you could create a new thought. You're only ever one thought away from a completely new experience of your life. So far, imagine the new future and choose a sentence. Accept that it is true, just like you've accepted the other sentences you're already believing as truth. Number 3, practice. Does require repetition. So you want to think it again and again and again. So every time you notice the old thought, you want to go, wait, no, I don't think that anymore, brain. This is what I want to think now. You might want to write it down so you can, every day. You might want to say it out loud every day so that you can start to train it in. Try to incorporate the new thought into your language as often as possible. And while you're doing this, look out for what we call cognitive dissonance. There's going to be an uncomfortable feeling that will happen because your brain doesn't like having two conflicting thoughts in itself in the world at once. It doesn't like to hold on to them. So when that happens, when you feel uncomfortable about it, and like, no, it doesn't feel right, I'm not sure, great, fantastic. That means you're doing it right. And in that moment, recommit to the new thought. Go, that's right, brain. This feels weird. It feels uncomfortable. This is the thought I'm choosing now. And keep recommitting. Number 4, start to take action from that new belief. So actions produce results. And then, of course, when we have results, we can interpret them as supporting evidence for the new belief, which will reinforce the new belief. So you can do that and you can keep taking action again. So just decide that it's true for you. What action would I be taking if I believed that thought to be true? Then take that action. And it doesn't matter whether it works out the way you want or not. It doesn't matter. Take the action. Take it again. Take it again. Take another one. Okay. And what's really interesting about all of this, of course, is that at some point, you might actually be surprised. Sometimes when we're working on creating and believing new thoughts, sometimes the results occur. We're all surprised. We're like, oh wow, can't believe I've actually already done that. I know there were multiple times in my weight loss journey when something caused me to realize, maybe an interaction with someone I hadn't seen for a little while, or there was a significant milestone on the scales, and it made me look back and realize, wow, I've already come so far. When I first started my journey, I was looking to lose about 20 kilos over 2 years. And then when I was told that I needed to lose at least 36 kilos to get into my healthy weight range, I freaked out. It was too much. It was too impossible. It was too far away. But as I went on, as I took action from that belief, remember I talked before about I'm doing it anyway. I'll start small. I'll just change one thing at a time and I'll just keep creating new things. I'm just going to do it. And as the more I did, suddenly I looked back and went, oh, wow, I've lost 20 kilos. Oh, wow, I've lost the 36 kilos. Maybe I could lose a little bit more. I started to believe, right? So notice that it really kind of can sneak up on you if you're doing it right. And if not, even if it doesn't sneak up onto you, you get to appreciate the anticipation of it and the living of the life of your dreams. You get to have your results that you want when you've believed that it can be true for you. We have already created all the results we have in our life. All of our current results are creations of our past thinking. So we're already creators. We've already created so much in our lives. Just remember that creating a new belief is also an act of creation. You already have the capability to do it. My question to you is, how will you use it? I'd love for you to let me know in the comments. And if this video has been useful, give me a like, give me a share. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe so you get notified whenever new videos come up, or if you're on my website, opt in, subscribe to my list, and I'll let you know whenever a new video goes up. I'd love to hear from you about what works, what doesn't, where do you need some help. So let me know in the comments. And let me know, what new belief will you create this week? If you want more help transitioning into the life that you want to be living, rather than the life that you have, then remember, you can always sign up for a free exploratory coaching session with me on my website. Go to livemorelife.com.au and click on free exploratory session. Fill in the form and I'll be in touch to help you out. Talk to you soon.